Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Gus Sorola.
Get your Steam wallets ready, PC gamers. Apparently, Nvidia owes quite a few of you some money.
The GPU maker just settled a massive false advertising lawsuit that will require them to shell out in the tens of millions of dollars across all GTX 970 owners in the United States.
I think I have a 970. This is kind of exciting for me.
How much are you gonna get?
Let's
find out.
The lawsuit in question was not so beloved by corporations' class action suit, which is defined as a lawsuit where the plaintiff represents an entire group of people. It was filed last February in a federal court in the Northern District of California and was actually 15 different lawsuits all Voltron together into one giant super powerful lawsuit.
The class action suit claimed that Nvidia falsely advertised and negligently represented the public about the capabilities and hardware of the GTX 970. They also named manufacturers Asus, EVGA, and Gigabyte in the suit as well.
As part of the just announced settlement, GTX 970 owners are entitled to a whopping $30 refund. Nvidia also has to pay over $1 million in the plaintiff's attorney's fees.
Pays to be the lawyer.
Right? I want to be the lawyer. I don't even want to have a 970 now. I want to go to law school and make millions.
That $30 is certainly good news to any PC gamer hard up for the last remaining cash they need to upgrade that GTX 970 to a Frost Giant blood-cooled GTX 1080. Or somebody that just wants to buy half of a new video game, I guess.
Yeah, not a full video game unless it's a Steam sale, but you can get half. So what exactly was Nvidia misrepresenting about the GTX 970? Well, most of the issue had to do with the GPU's VRAM, which was advertised as 4 gigabytes when it launched in September of 2014. However, users discovered after the fact that the 4 gigabytes was acting more like 3.5 gigabytes.
GTX 980 owners, on the other hand, weren't reporting any problems, and that's because it turned out the 970 and 980 were built differently as admitted by Nvidia in January of 2015.
According to them, the VRAM was split into two partitions of 3.5 gigabytes and around 500 megabytes. The remaining 500 megabyte block runs at significantly lower speeds.
This wasn't a problem for the most part, but became a pretty substantial issue anytime a game utilized more than 3.5 gigabyte threshold.
Soon after that, the website PC Perspective found out that not only did the 970 operate with less VRAM than it originally claimed, but it also had a smaller L2 cache than the company had advertised as well.
Come on, guys, we've all bragged about how big our L2 cache is. We know.
My L2
you add a little bit to it.
L2 is very impressive.
Things certainly didn't go well for Nvidia in the immediate aftermath of all those revelations. 970 sales totally bottomed out in the month of February. Amazon started offering 20% refunds to anybody who purchased a card, and then all the aforementioned lawsuits started popping up.
So then they all fusioned together, Dragon Ball Z style, into the mega class action lawsuit that we're talking about today.
Nvidia, of course, maintains that it didn't do anything wrong throughout the lawsuit and that it didn't willfully mislead its own customers. The excuse the company's given so far is that of crossed wires between its engineering and marketing departments.
Which, honestly, like that can happen all the time. According to them, the two teams miscommunicated about the actual architecture of the 970 and 980 cards, and the errors just made it all the way down to all the reviewer guides, and that's where you run into issues.
That's an expensive issue.
It's a very expensive issue, but not for the lawyers.
Somehow the $30 number reached in the settlement was deemed as the overall worth of the missing 500 megabytes of VRAM, which is way less than the 20% Amazon was offering. You know, what's up with that?
Come on.
That's what 500 megabytes is an eighth of 4 gigabytes. So then is the card worth $240?
It was, right?
That would make sense then. But I think it actually costs a lot more than that.
There you go. We just verified all of this with science. There's also no cap to the total amount that Nvidia will have to pay. It all depends on how many GTX 970 owners come calling for the money. They didn't release any information on how to do that at this time, but it'll probably be available relatively soon. I'll be keeping an eye on that one.
Since Nvidia doesn't release its sales numbers, there's no telling just how many people this will actually affect or how many millions of dollars they'll have to shovel out as a result.
We do know from Steam data that the GTX 970 is basically the card of choice for the majority of PC gamers. Fake VRAM, L2 caches, and all. We love the not real specs.
Some PC hardware analysts estimate that there are anywhere from 3 to 5 million high-end PC graphics cards sold every year, of which the GTX 900 family is a part. Considering the card came out all the way back in 2014 and is the highest seller amongst PC enthusiasts, there are probably quite a few million of them out in the wild.
All those GPUs jostling for phony VRAMs means this isn't the first time in the last few months we've had a little bit of a scandal over the performance of high-end GPU cards either. And guess what? The most recent one had to do with the GTX 1000 series.
Although in this case, the fault was of the manufacturers rather than Nvidia itself, last month Tech PowerUp discovered when testing GTX 1080s for review that both MSI and Asus had overclocked the review versions of their cards in an effort to make them review better and look more favorable right out of the box. Shame on
That's dumb.
you.
Don't do that, guys. I mean, it's dumb and it's fucked up. The difference in performance was minimal, too, which makes it even worse, but benchmarks are a big deal for most PC hardware reviews, so it was almost definitely an attempt to skew the results. When Tech PowerUp did some digging around, they discovered that MSI and Asus have both been doing this for years with their graphics cards.
Asus responded to the accusation of foul play by saying they did it to help reviewers save time and effort.
What?
Good on you, Asus. What stand-up good people.
We're just completely messing with the results of your tests.
Yeah, dude.
For you. It's for you.
It's saving
not
you time.
for us.
You don't have to test it. It's gonna win because it's overclocked.
So dumb. Meanwhile, another graphics card seller, EVGA, responded with a big old marketing page claiming that what you see is what you get because they don't fake reviews.
Sick burn, GPU guys.
You gotta love the opportunism.
Sick burn. So surprised, a number of GPU manufacturers are skirting as close to the line as they can when it comes to reporting the power of their hardware.
Yeah, you're dealing in a business where benchmarks and the tiniest upticks or downticks in performance make all the difference in the world for whether or not someone's gonna choose your product over someone else's.
If you can say your card has more doodads in the competition, and technically speaking, the GTX 970 did have what the box claimed, it just wasn't available for gaming, then you're gonna claim it for as long as you can.
Yeah, at least until someone catches you in the technicality and hits you with a real expensive class action lawsuit. And then hopefully you don't keep it up after that.
Not that it's going to hurt Nvidia much anyway. The company's recent financial results indicate that they pulled in $1.3 billion in revenue the first quarter of the year, up 35% from the same period last year.
So on the bright side, they'll have plenty of money for more advertising for all the wrong specs, and they can afford to pay everyone who bought a 970. Hooray.
Yay. What do you guys think of Nvidia's settlement with the GTX 970 owners? Are you going to claim that sweet $30? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your future news about PC gaming hardware and all the money you can get back for it, like this video and subscribe to The Know. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Gus Sorola.
Get your Steam wallets ready for an injection, people. Nope.
A hot beef injection right in your
Hot
wallet.
beef injection, rare.